Another big race we are watching tonight, State Senate District 28, the new district stretching from southwest Riverside County all the way to the Arizona border, including many cities here in the Coachella Valley. And it is two members of the GOP battling out for representation of this district, Bonnie Garcia of Palm Desert and Jeff Stone of Temecula. Megan Terlecki is covering the race right now, just 6 percentage points separating the two. Bonnie Garcia trailing right now behind Jeff Stone. Megan Terlecki live in Rancho Mirage at the Agua Caliente Spa Resort Casino. Megan.
Well, Brooke, right now it is just too early to make any assumptions as to a winner right now. And everybody here is just pretty much playing the waiting game. That's what they've been doing all night and prepared to do for a few hours more if necessary. I'm here with former Assemblywoman Bonnie Garcia and waiting for results to come in. This is something you're used to.
It's happened every single election that I've been involved with. More than 60% of the voters show up at the polls or the absentee ballots that are dropped off late. And we've seen year after year that the results are not even in until weeks afterwards. So the trend is that there will be some changes.
Now, one of the things that we were just talking about is voter turnout. I saw it at my polling site, and we're hearing that all over the Coachella Valley, that people are starting to vote in a midterm election that a lot of people thought that people wouldn't be voting. You think that's going to be in favor for you tonight?
I think so. I think that when you look at Dr. Reese's race and how competitive that was with Brian Estandi, you see that there were 3 Latino names on that ballot: Reese, Garcia for Assembly, Garcia for Senate, that encouraged Latino voters. We will see that at the polls. We will see it in the absentee ballots that were dropped off on Election Day. We will see it in provisional ballots, and so I think that we will see a change in the numbers trending upwards.
So talk to me a little bit about how you're feeling right now. You're surrounded by family, friends, some of your supporters. So far, the night seems to be going pretty well for you.
You know, I think this is really all about family and friends and the people that are with you from the very beginning. So I never really look at an election night party as a victory party. I see it as an opportunity to thank the people that have come with you to the dance right from the very beginning. So as you saw here tonight, it was 40, 50 friends, the closest people that have been along with me on this journey. I want to thank them and appreciate them for all the work that they've done. I want to thank the voters for really listening to the messages and what we really need to do to bring California forward. So whether I'm victorious this election cycle or not, I'm going to continue to serve this community.
And of course, you're going to stay here, or at least either here or in the next couple of days, and wait until all those last ballots are counted, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I have 2 beautiful granddaughters, 4 years old, lived in the Coachella Valley almost 30 years. This is home to me, and I'm just excited that we're going to have finally representation in Riverside County.
All right, thank you very much. Bonnie Garcia joining us live tonight. We're going to continue to stay here and keep an eye on things here at the Agua Caliente Casino. Back to you.
And Megan, we can understand why Bonnie Garcia is a believer in that wait and see. If you recall back to the primary in June, she wasn't even among the top 2 vote getters. It took several days for her name to inch up to that second spot below Jeff Stone. And that is again where she finds herself tonight, just 6 percentage points separating the two. Thanks, Megan.
And we are just getting some new numbers in on that race. An update posted just a couple of moments ago, but not a lot of new vote totals in the 28th Senate District. Jeff Stone still out in front by about 7 percentage points. Bianca Ray is covering the Jeff Stone campaign. She's with our live pad in Temecula tonight. That is Stone's home base. Remember, this new district stretches from the Arizona border all the way through the valley and to western Riverside County, where Stone is from. Bianca, what's the latest from there?
Relaying those new numbers. We're hearing them for the first time, too. So I'm here with Supervisor Jeff Stone. The excitement level has been pretty much here since the beginning at the Ponte Winery here in Temecula. So now you're up 7 percentage points, one more than what we have been here in the last couple of hours. Take me to downstairs to feel the atmosphere, kind of what you've been experiencing the entire night.
Well, people are pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. It's been a long, hard campaign and spent a lot of time on the ground in the Coachella Valley and meeting with a lot of great people. And I think people, they want to see a Sacramento outsider go up to Sacramento and take them on and try to do what we can to make the state more business friendly and, you know, fix the AB 109 problems with public safety and lower tuition for our kids in colleges. And so, you know, I've got 22 years of local experience and spent a lot of time on CVAG. Even though I didn't have any electorate in CVAG, I spent time there because I cared about the Coachella Valley, and I appreciate that the Coachella Valley voters have stepped up to the plate and so far have supported my candidacy.
People are looking right now at video from the party going on downstairs. A lot of happy people, of course. To what do you attribute your success, Supervisor Stone?
Being a local elected official for 22 years and, putting the citizens first and not the special interests. And I've had a lot of accomplishments over the past 22 years I'm very proud of. And I want to take those business attributes that I have in owning my own pharmacies and respiratory company and take it up to Sacramento and change the way we do business in the state of California and start creating the jobs here and keeping businesses from fleeing the state.
And the major differences between you and your opponent, what do you think really makes you stand out, and what you're most proud of about yourself and your campaign?
Well, I've been a successful businessman. I'm very proud of that. I came from very humble beginnings, and I haven't been supported by Sacramento. As you know, they supported my opponent by $3 million to the $1 million that I raised locally. So this was a race that was carefully watched throughout the state, and we want to find out, are Senate seats available to be bought? And I think hopefully we're going to prove tonight that they can't be bought, and the citizens are going to be the ones choosing our elected officials in this county.
All right, well, thank you. We'll continue to watch this race closely, and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bianca. And right now we have the very latest numbers ready to go on the board, so we'll take a look at those. And so you can see it's still running about 6 percentage points right now. Jeff Stone out in front of Bonnie Garcia. Again, the Garcia camp is theorizing that votes from here in the Coachella Valley, where she's more familiar with the voters, will be counted later in the night just because it takes longer to drive them into Riverside, and that Jeff Stone might have an advantage in the early voting because, his home base is Western Riverside County, closer to the counting center. So we'll see. This is still too close to call. We'll continue to watch this one probably well into the overnight hours. State Assembly now. The newly formed 42nd District features a couple of high desert candidates. The district straddles San Bernardino and Riverside counties. It should favor a Republican. That's what the registration says in the 42nd District. And Democrat Carolee Hargrove against Republican Chad Mayes. As you can see, Chad Mayes is well out in front in this one with 57% of the vote, with a little bit less than a third of the votes counted. And now let's take a look at the 56th District Assembly race, which has a big registration advantage for the Democrats. And in this one, Coachella Mayor Eduardo Garcia facing off against the Republican Charles Bennett Jr. The incumbent here, Manuel Perez, being termed out of the Assembly. He's running for Coachella City Council. As you can see again, this district heavily favors the Democrats in registration, and Eduardo Garcia is well out in front.
Yeah, including El Centro, but also Indio, Cathedral City, Coachella, some of the other cities here in our valley. No surprises in the big California governor's race. Democrat Jerry Brown won another term tonight. That means his fourth total and his second consecutive term as governor. Of course, he served between 1975 and 1983, but Jerry Brown with 58% of the vote and 40% of the precincts reporting.
And our coverage of Your Vote 2014 continues now in Cathedral City. A lot of change going on in Cathedral City right now. There are going to be a lot of new faces. Councilman Stan Henry is going to be the new mayor of Cathedral City, with current mayor Kathleen DeRosa stepping aside. So he will be essentially promoted because he was running unopposed. And then we're going to have at least two new council members right now, Shelley Kaplan and Mark Cannavale, out in front here in the early voting in Cathedral City. Now, what's interesting about this is because Stan Henry is now going to be the mayor, a third spot will open up. And we're not sure if the council will appoint that third person, whoever finishes third in this election, to that seat. So Teresa Hooks, this may be important. Who finishes third here? Chuck Vasquez, of course, is still on the ballot, but he would not be allowed to win or not be allowed to take office because of the plea bargain he took in his case involving misuse of public funds. So right now you can see how that shapes up in Cathedral City.
Yeah, big shakeup in Cathedral City. Also, voters there choosing some issues regarding medical marijuana. Cathedral City becoming the second city in the valley to approve dispensaries there, and now the city asking voters to approve a tax on marijuana sales of up to 15%, something that will be determined by the council. It needed just a simple majority to win, and it has handily done that. 74% of voters approving that tax on marijuana sales.
And right now we continue the races in our local cities. In Indian Wells, there will be two new faces on the city council there. Incumbent Patrick Mullaney and Mary Roach, the incumbents there, deciding not to run for re-election. 5 candidates in the running for 2 open seats. Richard Boloco is second right now at 28% of the vote to Dana Reed. So right now they are out in front with about a third of the vote counted in Indian Wells. In La Quinta, longtime Mayor Don Adolph facing two challengers, artist Craig Carey and Councilwoman Linda Evans, who was first appointed to the council in 2009. And right now Linda Evans looking like she is well out in front in the mayor's race. Again, these are fairly early vote totals. And now the race for city council, 9 candidates in this one for 2 spots. And right now, former Mayor John Pena is out in front with Robert Ratty appearing to be in the second slot, but it looks very close there. So we'll continue to watch this one probably late into the night, probably the overnight hours as well.
Let's head west now and go to Palm Desert, where 7 candidates are running for 2 seats on the council. Longtime councilwoman and former Mayor Jean Benson announcing she's retiring from politics after more than 3 decades on the council. That leaves the only incumbent, Jan Harnick, who right now is placing well ahead of the challengers with 41% of the vote. She is seeking her second 4-year term. Voters in Palm Desert also right now approving Sabby Jonathan, who has run previously and lost. He is an accountant, served for 16 years on the Palm Desert Planning Commission. It looks right now like he might grab that second seat. Also in Palm Desert, voters there voting on raising the city's hotel tax up to 11%. Currently, it is among the valley's lowest. Right now, also voters choosing whether or not that will pass, and we're going to have the results of that online on CBSLocal2.com. Last week, the City Council in Desert Hot Springs decided on the number of medical marijuana clinics. The police chief there saying right now they're going to cap the number at 3, and then they're going to determine what kind of draw on resources that will be, both police and other. We're looking at Measure HH right now. Voters overwhelmingly approving that tax on marijuana dispensaries, $25 per square foot for the first 3,000 square feet, $10 per square foot. After that, it needed a simple majority to pass, and it looks like it will do so. Measure II imposing a 10% tax on the sale of marijuana in Desert Hot Springs, also passing right now with 73%. And Measure JJ calling for a 1% increase in sales tax. This was somewhat more controversial. It was estimated to raise about $1.5 million a year for the city, but people are stressing it had to pass, otherwise city leaders would have to make budget cuts. And right now it does not look like the voters in Desert Hot Springs will be approving Measure JJ. That may mean more cuts on the way for that city.
A lot of election results so far, and we're just getting started with your local races. Also, a look at voter turnout and the counting process live from Riverside. Always interesting because there's always a big discussion about why it has to go so late into the next day, usually. So that's coming up. You're watching Your Vote 2014 on News Channel 3 and CBS.